I'm Arcade Nut here, and I'm here to tell you about one of the best Game Boy Advance games. I don't know if I should be grateful or something, but I don't want any Nintendo lovers at my door. Let's take this opportunity to thank Nintendo for bringing the Game Boy Advance to Nintendo Switch. Its library is a bit lacking at the moment, but soon we'll be able to play classic and must-play GBA titles such as Metroid Fusion, Golden Sun and Fire Emblem Blazing Blade. Thanks to the flawless library of Game Boy Advance, my love for the Legend of Zelda series is rekindled. The Legend of Zelda series used to be one of my favorite series of all time, competing with Metal Gear Solid, Shin Megami Tensei and Final Fantasy. But after I played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on Nintendo 3DS, our paths were parted. I'm going to be honest, Breath of the Wild wasn't my cup of tea. There's a ton of things that didn't appeal to me at all. I'm not going to deny its mechanics and the freedom it gives to experiment, but other than that, Breath of the Wild was pretty underwhelming Zelda experience. Call it nostalgia or call it what you will. I'm here to talk about one of the most wholesome Legend of Zelda experiences you are ever likely to enjoy. Allow me to take you to one of the best consoles ever made. The Minish Cap dates back to 2004 when we played the GBA whenever we could, whether it was at school, in the car or even on the toilet. It didn't matter. Since it was only released for Game Boy Advance back then, it was quite hard to play. Until now. If you ever want to jump into the world of The Legend of Zelda, along with Skyward Sword, would be your best bet, as these two games are the first two titles in the Legend of Zelda lore. Let me tell you about the Hyrule Historia first. According to this Hyrule Historia, the Legend of Zelda's story and its time loop concept, so to speak, starts with Skyward Sword, which I'm also thinking about covering later on, since the Minish Cap also has strong connections like Wind Tribe and the Lost Dungeons design. A few ages later comes the Minish Cap, which would later lead to the events of Four Swords and then the classic, most beloved Zelda title of them all, Ocarina of Time. That is all you need to know for now, except that the Minish Cap takes place after Skyward Sword, when the Kingdom of Hyrule is being formed and Zelda and Link are childhood friends. As the grandson of the blacksmith of Hyrule Kingdom, we are somehow very close to Princess Zelda, and we are invited to a tournament organized by the King of Hyrule himself. The winner of this tournament will earn the right to wield the Picori Blade, the legendary sword created by the Minish and given by them to the hero of man. These Minish creatures, also known as Picori by the Hylians, are a small race of fairy-like legendary beings who are not invisible to the naked eye. And this day is a celebration of the last time the lost Picori came to Hyrule like 100 years ago. So, you know something bad is going to happen sooner or later. As Zelda and Link are about to present the Picori Blade to the champion of the tournament, Vati, he shatters the sacred Picori Blade and opens the bound chest, which for some reason has been used to trap evil monsters inside. Vati quickly turns Princess Zelda to stone and begins plotting his own evil schemes, while Link sets off on a journey to repair the shattered Picori Blade by visiting these legendary Minish tribes. During his travels, he meets Ezlo, a talking hat, rather a duck-like green talking cap that helps Link to shrink down to Minish size. With it, we can shrink down to Minish size, make friends with Minish people, solve puzzles, defeat bosses, and rescue Princess Zelda to, one day become the groom we are destined to be. During our first encounter with Ezlo, he might seem like an annoying companion at first, always criticizing Link how airheaded he can be, and this can happen even when you consult him about where to go next. Ezlo can be quite a dick sometimes. However, with each elemental power Link gathers to restore the Picori Blade, Ezlo begins to trust Link more and reveals his background story and how he feels responsible about what Vidya's doing. Did I just say Vati Vidya? Gathering these elementals by traveling to 4 different elemental dungeons is our main objective. And just like I mentioned before, these 4 elementals will then lead to the events of Four Swords later on. Although The Legend of Zelda has a timeline that makes sense, the games do not feel like a direct sequel. You can as well as start with the Breath of the Wild or Ocarina of Time and then move on to whatever you feel interested in. It is totally up to you. The story connections just make the world of Zelda more interesting for me, that's all. I'll mention more about the ambience and the characters of the Minish Cap later on, but first, let's take a look at how the gameplay is. The Minish Cap presents the usual, familiar The Legend of Zelda experience that we know. If you played The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening of Nintendo Switch, there is a high possibility that you might also enjoy the Minish Cap. Both titles have lots of aspects in common. The Minish Cap's whole ambience and its gameplay is similar to the retro Zelda gameplay style, with fixed isometric camera angles, and finding your way in Minish Cap, exploring the map is quite easy and motivating to do. Each map of the Minish Cap are bound with each other, and all of the exploration that you do, like placing bombs around the walls, discovering secret fairy fountains, are quite rewarding. You might discover an upgrade for your wallet, bomb bag or quiver upgrade in general. The Minish Cap offers lots of explorations and side content if you ever feel interested. There are lots of puzzles, lots of hidden heart pieces to gather, side quests to do, and kinstones to form, to reveal something new or to open a new path for your side quest. These kinstones that are exclusive to Minish Cap come in colors and shapes. They differ from red, blue and green, and by completing these kinstones that the NPCs carry, you can either discover a treasure chest somewhere in the Minish Cap's map, reveal a new side quest that would grant Link an equipment or a new ability. The world of Minish Cap might seem a bit weaker when compared to series' bigger titles like Majora's Mask or even Skyward Sword, but keep in mind that Minish Cap launched for GBA. Even though GBA has its own limitations, there is one aspect that I really want to talk about. The visuals, the aesthetics of the Minish Cap, and how it excels in creating a lively atmosphere. The word wholesome defines the overall atmosphere and the experience you will have. First and foremost, the sprite visuals of the Minish Cap, rather it be the Hyrule or out in the dungeon when you're fighting with the monsters, or when Link shrinks down into mini size with Ezlo. All of these animations, the sprite design are well made and they do a very good job at bringing life to Minish Cap. It's quite rare to see such a lively atmosphere and the lively NPCs in such retro games. Whether you become a Minish or just travel normally, you will see different aspects of Hyrule. Dogs and chickens will talk to you whenever you turn into a Minish. They will reveal something new about Hyrule or even offer their kinstones, while the cats trying to hunt you. The world building of the Minish Cap actually wants you to change sizes to solve puzzles, but it also offers different NPCs whenever you do. Besides that, if you play titles like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess, you will realize some familiar faces during your journey. It's, once again, quite in harmony with its time loop concept of Legend of Zelda here, as we see Lon Lon Ranch and Melon selling milk in Hyrule, masks hanging on the wall of the mayor's building, and even Ocarina of Wind that will let us to do quick travels. The Minish Cap has all of these familiar faces, familiar mechanics all together with new, charming sprite visuals along with a new concept. During the videos that I've been doing recently, I started to discover this new side of the video games. The balance or the harmony between visuals, the tone of the story, and the ambience. Hi-Fi Rush had this, Hogwarts Legacy did this correctly, Dead Space Remake was remarkable, but Forspoken failed horribly at this point, and this harmony is once again can be felt all around in Minish Cap. I might have criticized Breath of the Wild, but there's no point in rejecting that I'm really hyped for Tears of the Kingdom, and the Minish Cap just satisfied my hunger for Zelda, just by the correct amount. If you have never played a Zelda game before, at first the Minish Cap might catch you off guard with its puzzles and lack of guidance to solve it. However, as you get used to its style, I'm sure you will have a pleasant journey. As always, thank you for watching today's video. More will soon to come, so stay tuned. I need to finish Like a Dragon Ishin, Digimon World Next Order, and Octopath Traveler 2 somehow. And if you feel interested about the recent title Wild Hearts, be sure to tell me if I should make a video about it.